All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Be Fit podcast. I'm your host, Connor Murphy, joined with the Biron sisters. Whip, 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 whip.
That's us.
Biron sisters, also known as Carly and Maddie Biron. Although you start with Carly, right, from alphabetical.
Yes. I think so.
Do you want, because you're older?
No, I'm younger.
I was just asking.
How do you not know that?
I know that now.
You didn't know Carly was older?
I don't think I ever took the time to see who is older or younger.
Yeah, the crow's feet really give it away, though.
I was just talking about how you behave, and so since you're more mature,
yeah,
no,
it checks out. She is more. My God. She is more of the mom.
Claws are out. No, I am the mom. I'm lamer, if that makes any sense. She's more fun.
Fun is a relative term on how you look to have fun.
That's true.
Some people define fun with maturity or immaturity, like, oh, that person's really fun, or that person could be really immature. I think you're both a wealth of fun.
Thank you.
So, anyways, let me finish introducing these ladies. Known as Built by Biron, personal training, group training, also the host of the Eat the Damn Cake podcast.
Your favorite title ever?
The #1 podcast at a Big Night Media, or you know what? Fuck it. Even if it's not true, the #1 podcast.
It's not true, but we'll take the title if you want to give it to us.
You know what? There's enough stuff that goes around where people are like it could be the #1 podcast currently in the podcast office at Big Night.
True.
Right now, in this moment.
Yeah.
If you make the category niche enough, you can be #1.
There's enough cross sections to where you're going to highlight gold on that one.
All right, I'll take it.
You guys are amazing.
Thank you.
One, why I really enjoy listening to what you have to say and what you are doing in training is because it is a different approach than what I'm used to. And I think that every time that I get to playfully argue with you, really what I'm doing is kind of learning more tricks of the trade on just how to be better at what we do, which is, I mean, there's enough clientele in this world that needs to move and needs to eat well and needs to find ways to be better. And there's a million ways to do that. And I really like the approach and how playful you are, but also how smart you are and how willing to learn you are. I always see it's like there's times where it's like, I don't know the answer, but I have Google up on my phone and here's information that I'm reading.
Right.
So welcome.
Thank you for having us. So honored.
Let's go, as opposed to going back the storyline, I want to just circle all the way back to what was the, I'll use this word, impetus, the driving force behind Built by Biron.
Okay.
Well, it all started back in July 2019. I took a nap. And I woke up and I had a dream that Maddie and I started our own fitness company. I knew that Maddie was really, really good with strength and conditioning. She had just graduated college. We both went to UMass Amherst for kinesiology. So Maddie's expertise was more strength and conditioning, where mine was more centered around like the cardio aspect of everything. Mm-hmm. And I said, why don't we join forces and do something by Biron? But I said, I don't want body by Biron. That's overdone. I don't want booty by Biron. Something that embodies like what we believe in by us. And she said, how about Built? And I was like, yes, because we are all about at the foundation about making people stronger. That's all we really, truly set out to do. We want to make every day of your life easier by priming your body, making it stronger, making carrying groceries easier, going up a flight of stairs easier, things like that, just setting you up for success for every single day. We're not saying you have to carve a six-pack in and become a bodybuilder, but we just want to make every day's life simpler. So that's how it all started. And then we tried to come up with a 8-week program where people followed along an 8-week program that progressed throughout the 8 weeks, where they'd go to the gym and do their own sort of, I guess.
They would just take themselves through the workout, but we would provide them with written workouts as well as videos and demos. And then we would check in with them each week. That wasn't exactly the best thing because we knew nothing about starting our own business, what pricing was supposed to be. We were overpriced at that point for who we were because we had started the business about 5 minutes prior. And then we were like, okay, that's what typically people charge, but no one really knew what we were,
or
who we were
doing.
about. Like, it just didn't make any sense. So fast forward, what was it?
Couple months.
Few months, yeah.
March 2020.
March 2020.
When the world shut down.
The world shut down because of COVID, if you didn't already know.
Some
And
people are like, what?
yeah, what happened?
March 2020. March 2020.
Yeah,
is,
let me rack my brain for a second. So day one of lockdown was March 16th.
Oh yeah, 16.
March 16th, we decided let's teach a class on Instagram because all the gyms were closed already. Everything was shut down. So we went live on Instagram and taught a body weight hit, fully body weight, no equipment. And we got, I think, over 100?
Like 120 people who signed on.
People
live.
just logged on and started doing it. And then people kept saying, are you going to do this again? And that kind of started our journey of teaching Monday through Saturday at 7 a.m.
every day
through the pandemic for free. And we kind of built a brand of group fitness and a community, and it's all kind of evolved. If there's kind of a Reader's Digest, we evolved to pre-recording on YouTube and then charging $3 for one class. And because we were nervous people weren't going to keep taking our classes if we charged after 3 months of free exercise.
Yeah.
And then we all decided, okay, we're starting to go back to our jobs. I worked in retail at Lululemon. Carly, where she still works at Bespoke, she was going back to a full schedule, or for what it was. Semi-full. But we decided to create a subscription. So we created an online subscription that was $30 a month, which we still have. And we were teaching from our parents' backyard and basement for that entire time up until August. And then November, yeah. But in September, we started looking for a space to find. And Carly actually was one who found the gym we're actually in now.
Yes.
How'd you find that?
I went to go, they were actually a gym that was closing during the pandemic, and I went to go buy weights off of them. And I said, who's taking over the space? And they were like, I don't think anyone. Do you want us to put you in touch with the owner? I was like, well, how much is it a month? And then they told me, and I was like, that's okay. Don't worry about it. The owner calls us and is like, I want to see you guys succeed. I want to help you out. I'm going to give you 2 months free rent to get on your feet and then start paying in November. And that was like, I think a guardian angel, because if we never got the space and we never would have started personal training, we never would have small group trained, so. Yeah,
I think when we moved into that space, all we kind of looked at it as was a recording studio, a 1,200 square foot recording studio. We used probably like one corner of it to record. Mm-hmm. And then we had a couple of clients reach out to us and asked if we did private sessions. And we said, yeah, I mean, we do. We have 4 sets of dumbbells. Come on in. We'll train you. And now it's kind of evolved into
a full-blown gym.
Full gym,
we
fully
got the
equipped.
Ski-erg because of you.
Yeah, we finally got a skier because of you. And
you still hit him with that warm-up piece, huh?
Yes,
oh, yeah.
all the time.
People are like, oh, this seems good enough. Oh, it's going to get you. Simple.
So simple, but horrible.
I will never forget when you made us do that. I was just holding the plank thinking that I was relieved to be in the plank.
And your hands are shaking and your shoulders and you're breathing heavy. And it's 30-second skier, 30-second plank.
Until
how many times?
2,500 meters.
2,500 meters.
Right? Was it 2,500?
No, it was 1,000. Wasn't it 1,000? No, it was 2,500. Yeah, it was horrible. But now I'm fully built by Biron. I personal train and small group train full time. Carly is as well, minus maybe a few because she teaches spin. But
yeah,
that is our full time gig now, and we couldn't be more grateful.
I love the story, particularly the part where you were like, "We didn't know what we were doing. We just did it." Hurley can attest to it. We talked about this yesterday. Jason Fernandez. It's like so many people are, for like a metaphorical place. It's like you're standing in the middle of very, very tall weeds.
Yep.
And there are people who are like, all right, I'm going to calculate the perfect path out of here. And they're going to stand there for days, weeks, years, or potentially do nothing. Mm-hmm. And then there's the people like you that were like, not sure if this is the right way, but we're going, and just start weed whacking. And you may have the most roundabout swirly bird way out of there, but fuck, just starting is so cool and so important. Terrifying.
Horrifying.
Each night when you go to bed. I mean, I know this is like,
am I gonna make it?
You have 1 hour where you're like, yep, this is great. And then the next one you're like, we're going to shut it down. I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
We're embarrassing with it.
That's the best way to describe it, because I think, it's cool to reflect now, because we're definitely kind of over the hump of will we make it, because there was so many points where we both kind of looked at each other and were like, I don't know if we can take a paycheck. Like, sorry. And luckily for a while we were both living at home, and I finally moved out. And then I was like, shit, I have some actual expenses to make. We need to be making enough money to sustain this right now. And we're finally.
If you want it bad enough, you're going to make it work.
Right.
Necessity is the mother of invention.
Yep.
Exactly.
Where it's like, once you are like, hey, I have to make this work.
Yeah.
That's what that old quote, like burn the ships.
Yep.
It's like, if you have the ship to go back to, you're not going to take the island.
Right.
But if you burn it, it's like, hey, we had nothing to go back to.
Yeah,
so we better
stay.
fucking make this work right now.
Yeah. I mean, when I left my job,
that was the scariest
jump. That was the scariest jump, because I knew I was kind of, we both knew it was necessary, because we were starting to get too busy to the point where I could no longer work a full-time job. But at the same time, we knew there was a chance that there would be some weeks where it was like, okay, so you're not going to be making much money at all. We're going to all be skimming by, and it is not glamorous. I think it's so funny, because when you tell people you own your own business, they're like, wow, that's so cool. It must be so amazing.
They think of like the expense account.
Yeah. They're like, oh, you can just swipe great. That. And we're like, where do you think the money comes out of?
Yeah.
Our bank account.
They give you this piece of plastic and everything's free.
We're like, it's so just cool. Free. And we're both very young. I'm 25. Carly just turned 28. So we're both on the younger end of things. And we feel very blessed that we're already finding success, because a lot of people are like, and I am learning right now in school, most businesses don't make it through the first year, and most businesses you don't start cutting paychecks until 5 years in. Yeah. And we have been able to start paying ourselves, and we have been able to stay afloat through the different waves of the pandemic. And it has been a learning experience for sure. We would be lying if we knew exactly what we were doing all times, but I think that's been the most fun part, figuring it out together.
You use the word found success or created success. Mm-hmm. How do you define success? If you're like, our business is now like successful, we're finding success in it, what does that look like?
I think at least like having clients that rely on us and we rely on them, and they trust us, and like we found an amazing client trainer relationship with all of our clients, and like created that foundation that they feel comfortable coming in and training with us. I look at that as success. It's not about like the amount of like money we're bringing in. It's more about like having clients that come to us and them trusting and staying on with us. And that's what I think is success.
Yeah, I would say client retention, but also the coolest part about success is it's ever changing. So what I could define success as this month could totally change 3 months from now, because our goals keep changing, right? We just had a goal to really stay open and build our schedule to the point where we were able to both fully put in almost, all of our time.
Yeah.
In the summer, that was our goal. Let's try to get over 40 appointments each week. And we hit that. And that's unbelievable, because just over a year ago, we had one client. And it's all been...
We had like 4 that were like, would come
sporadic and weren't really coming in that consistently. So right now, I think, like Carly said, client retention has been huge, and we love our clients to death. And we
also building up our fitness classes have been really good.
Yeah.
Our circuit classes.
Yeah. When I started my fitness classes at Framingham, we had like 2 or 3 people, and one was my boyfriend, one was my mom, and then one was like my mom's friend. And I would be like, oh, do I even charge you guys? Because I'm pretty sure I reached out to you and said, please come to my class. So I'm not teaching to nobody. And now they're filling. So I think it's all about kind of what you put out there. And our whole foundation of our business is, like Carly said, getting stronger, not making it about the scale, and also just, you know, self-improving in whatever that means. And the cool part about Built by Biron, it's not only you're building muscle, but you're building each other up in the atmosphere that we provide. So it's all about building each other up. That's what our community is about. So I think it's been very cool that we've been able to foster that environment for so many people.
And I think where people get lost when they think success as money is that it's like it's very closely related.
Mm-hmm.
But money doesn't, especially in this industry, like money doesn't come at zero expense. Meaning, like, you don't just get to start making money as it being successful. It's like why you make money is because you invest in these relationships and in these people and in these clients. They start to see results. They start to improve the quality of their lives through fitness, and through that comes money.
Mm-hmm.
So when some people are like, oh, it's not all about money, and it's like, correct, it is about this, but this is how we become sustainable.
Yes.
And that is to where it's a direct relative,
Mm-hmm.
but that's not, it's like the, you know, like the chicken before the egg type thing. It's like this, you have to get results and create these relationships, and that's how money comes.
I mean,
And that's what I was going to say. The most memorable, one of the most memorable things you've ever said to me was that when you worked at the Reebok gym, some guy said, why should I join here? And you said, come for 1 month for free and see how it goes. And then ever since then, he was a lifelong client. And that's just proof of how you built that relationship with that person. And then it became sustainable because you built that trust up the first month. Maddie and I at the beginning were giving away personal training, small group training, group fitness classes, just to get people to trust us.
Yeah. I mean, that's how we felt like we had to prove ourselves, because we knew we were not about to charge people a ton of money to come to us when no one knew anything about us. They didn't know who we were. They didn't know what we were about. And even in the beginning, we made everything super low cost because we wanted to prove ourselves to these people that we were worth the investment of their time, of their money, of their energy. And also, even when you start making money, like you said, it's not about that. Most of the time, you don't see any of it, because you're consistently trying to better your business and get new equipment and
Get
also
merch
get new, clothing, but also invest in ourselves. Like, I'm going back to school, getting those new certifications, learning more about the fitness industry that can make you a better trainer, and also just know more about your clients. It's hard to measure success on that scale because like you said, most of the time, it's not really how much money you actually have. Like, if we were basing it off that, then
if we were looking to make $1 bajillion, we wouldn't have started in the fitness industry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's just how it goes.
That always cracks me up when people are like, I want to buy a gym to make money. And you're like,
buy a laundromat.
oh,
you're like,
buy a car wash.
Yeah, exactly.
like you're like, think a little bit differently.
Become a drug dealer.
Yeah. Honestly, just don't do that. Don't buy the gym. Both of us always wanted to help people and make people feel good. And I think that's kind of why we ended up where we were and why we're our happiest right now.
Wake
Because
up and love our job every single day,
which I never used to do.
Giving people the ability to have a better quality of life is one of the most incredible things as to do, one, as a profession, but two, just on a day-to-day basis.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you could be having the worst day possible, and sometimes you have to throw on that face. Sometimes it's like, I'm not here right now, but I know that this person needs it more than I do. And it's like, that can turn your day around. Having them be like, this was the best part of my day. This was it. Like those are incredible moments. And it seems like that's what's driving. That's like the force behind this train that's rolling.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Absolutely.
100%.
I
mean,
the other day had a horrible day.
You did?
Or like couple hours. This was like a month ago.
Oh, you did?
I don't have a lot of bad days. I don't think bad days are a thing. I think you have bad moments of bad days. And if you turn the whole day bad because of those bad moments, then that's on you. But
that's on you, Playboy.
That's on you. But I was having like a bad couple moments in that day. And I went and taught a spin class and or a ride class. And I went all out, just like balls to the wall. And some person texted me after and said, I needed that class tonight more than anything. I was having the worst day, but your energy and your playlist and everything just made it all better. And and that made me turn around every negative thought I had in my brain. I was like, yes, okay, this is why I do what I do.
Mm-hmm.
That's incredible. And I feel like that's what keeps us going, because there are the moments to where you're like, oh my gosh, like we are hustling and the hustle's not going to end. It doesn't get to just stop. And you're like, well, I've hustled enough. Now the business is going to run itself. And it's like, but like, that's the stuff. That's the fuel.
Oh,
unfortunately with fitness,
sure.
that isn't like a business you can like just pass off, because people come for you.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So if you build up this amazing fitness empire that
clientele.
people love, they're coming for you. You can't be like, all right, here's a new
I'm
trainer.
If you sell your gym, and this breaks people's hearts. It breaks people's hearts so much when people have built a very successful gym and they want to sell it. You are selling used fitness equipment. You're not selling members. You're not selling success. You're not selling weight loss, muscle gain, PRs completed. You're not selling a community. You are selling used fitness equipment. So if you want to build it up to sell this, multi-million-dollar industry, like it ain't it.
No, and like Carly said, I feel like I keep reiterating you, but it's work showing up every day for those people, and we wouldn't want to be going anywhere else or doing anything else. And I think that, it's so funny because personal training really is so personal. You become their friends. You see some of these clients more than you see your own family. Mm-hmm. And also you're rolling out of bed at 4:45, 5 a.m. every day to do that. So if you're not willing to put that effort in and sacrifice a lot of different shit in your life, then it's not the industry and it's not the business for you, because we always joke about how lame we are because we go to bed at
8 p.m.
8 p.m. Even on the weekends, we try to stay pretty tame because we both work on Saturdays and sometimes on Sundays. And people are like, well, why don't you just take the day off? Why don't you just call out? And it's like,
I never thought of that.
They're
I'll
like,
just call out on my 7 clients tomorrow. Sounds good.
well, they say you own the business, so you can make your own schedule. And
we're not
like,
that easy.
We're like, no, we own the business, so we have to be there.
We are the business.
Yeah.
And I mean, we always say we wouldn't have it any other way. And it's not that we want to take time off, but there's a lot of sacrifice in owning your own business. We don't have PTO. You don't have bonus checks. You don't have, manager meetings where they're like, hey, you got a raise. Like, you are on your own.
Just sit in one chair.
Yeah.
We want to talk about your performance review. And then you run across to the other chair and you're like, well, how have I been doing? Well, we have a couple of things here to talk about. That's it.
It's Carly and I.
We do try to keep up with clients though, and send out like feelers of like, hey, what could we improve? What areas? Just to feedback is so important. And usually if one person says something, 4 others are thinking it.
Totally.
Good or bad, So I just think that feedback is so important. And like the first couple months we started operating our on demand and started doing stuff, and even personal training clients, we sent out feedback and people would give us helpful tips and tricks and along the way. And it was awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely how we've evolved.
You have to be humble.
Be humble at your highest and hopeful at your lowest. Coasties. That's on Coastie ends every class with that.
I like that.
I like that a lot.
Humble at your highest and hopeful at your lowest.
Easier said than done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Especially, I mean, like
when you're at your lowest.
Preaching to the choir. Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's hard.
Being humble at any point in time and being hopeful at any point in time are
Yeah.
still things that are difficult.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I know. It is really hard, but rewarding.
One of my best friends, James Hobart, I don't know if we've referenced or talked about this, but he always references owning a small business like riding a lion, to where like everyone else is like looking at you like riding a lion, being like, whoa, that person's riding a lion. How cool is that? And like in your perspective, you're like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm riding a lion.
You're like, why am I doing that?
What? Like, I have no idea what I'm doing right now. I'm riding a lion.
Yeah.
Everyone else is like, man, it'd be so cool to ride a lion. Meanwhile, you're just like, ah.
Would it be cool?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
I think it's I'm trying to describe it in the most easy terms.
It's hard.
It's hard. And there are days where, like you said, you don't want to show up because you're fucking exhausted. And you know that you have 92 things on your plate, but there's only one person to do it, and it's yourself. And you can't pass it off, because I think Carly and I are very similar in this. We can delegate, but we'd rather do it on our own. And
I think that's any business
owner.
Yeah.
And
we have 2 amazing interns, and my mom's like, why don't you just pass some of this off to them? And I was like,
we can't.
Well, that requires a meeting and me teaching them how to do this stuff, and I don't have time to teach them how to do it.
And also, I was learning in one of my classes, so I'm at Babson learning about entrepreneurship right now, and they were like, the best leaders are the best delegators, but 9 times out of 10, the small business owners will never delegate because they want a hand in everything that the small business is doing. And I think that's a really good way to describe Carly and I, because we're super protective. It's our baby. We want everything to be perfect. We want, every single one of our clients to have the best experience. We want our website to look great. We want our scheduling to be correct, like our emails to be good. And we don't like passing it off, because if it's not coming through us, then we're like, how do we know it's good? It's so bad. We should probably get better at delegating.
I got to kind of learn. That's, again, still one of my biggest struggles. But I got to learn from my boss at Reebok, Austin Malleolo. And what was really cool about how he delegated is that there was never a task he gave anyone that we were like, Austin isn't willing to do this, or he hasn't done it before.
Yeah.
To where I think there's something important, too, about where you're at now in the business, to where it's like, now at this point, because you've done so much, now you can go to an intern or to an employee and say, hey, here, I'm going to teach you how to do this. And they were like, well, of course they're going to do this. They're not just passing this off because it's busy work. They have bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
And Austin did that so well, to where he had these like meetings upstairs at, at the Reebok HQ about way bigger stuff. And then I had to, I would do like these reports, and it would like all trickle down to where the people who worked for me, or then my interns, it's like all of that stuff got done. And at first, when I first started working for him, like if it wasn't exactly how he wanted it done, he'd be pissed.
Yeah.
And then like as he continued to get better, it was like it's going to be Connor's quality, to where it could be better in some things, could not be up to par in those. But I think it's like, it's not to where it's like, hey, let's just get better at delegating. And it's like, all right, on day 497, we decided to start delegating.
Yeah.
Like you're building, you're on that right timeline. You're doing this, you're getting that credibility in anyone who sees you, your clients and everyone else, to where I'm sure soon, to when you are passing things off, your clients are like, well, I know how they are, so they're not going to leave us hanging.
Yeah.
Where they took the time to make sure that this person is going to do it to the best of their abilities.
100%.
True. They
100%.
do trust us. We brought on someone who teaches, our friend Emily teaches on Monday nights. And she went through a training process with Maddie.
Yeah.
And we trusted her. We're like, yeah, you got this. It's all you now. And our clients love her.
Yeah. And we took it into account. Like, I teach Wednesdays and Saturday mornings, and I built up a really big class, and I said, okay, we're going to be offering classes again, but on Mondays, but I'm not teaching it. We brought in someone new, and obviously there's like a stir, like, who is it? Are they similar? What are they like? So we would bring her in while we were personal training, because a lot of our clients come back for those classes, and slowly but surely she would sub in for me while I was still in class. And now she's built this amazing foundation. It's like, if you trust the people that you hire and that you bring in, and that also help foster that environment that you've worked so hard to foster for your clients, then it'll all work out. But then there has been times where we've been wrong about people, and we'll bring people in, and it's not that we don't like them. It's just not a good working relationship. And that's hard too. And, I don't think either of us had ever fired anyone before, and not even fired, but like let someone go. And at 25 and 28, you're like, okay, how do we like professionally do this? Especially when it's
got to do it in writing.
Yeah. When it's someone that we've known or a friend. And that's the sticky part of owning a small business. Everyone that you know are like, how can I help? How can I get in there? I work in fitness too. Can I teach for you? And it's trying to be super picky, but also being super respectful of your brand, and you, like, what you know in your heart is good for your business, and not going to either break a friendship or break your business, which not fun.
it's funny when you mention like that's a part of owning a business.
Mm-hmm.
And there's going to be times where it's like, it's very, very tough to hurt someone's feelings. And it's hard to even relay that too, to say, hey, you're not a bad person. And what you're doing isn't even like bad. It's just not what we want. And this is our business.
Mm-hmm.
I've felt that. And I wonder if you felt the same thing, to where I've almost given people too much, even when I've known, where I'm like, this is not what I want. This is mine. I own this. This is me.
Yeah.
But I'm letting it other people because I'm like, I don't want to hurt your feelings. You're trying, but it's not what I want. And all of a sudden it's like nice. And then I get this switch where I'm just like, this is yours. I'm like, done, cut off.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I probably could have done that a little more tactfully.
Yeah.
But
That's
I'm sure you've
exactly
experienced that, or have you?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is exactly
what we experience.
Yes, I go 0 to 100. It's like I have so much grace until I don't. And then I'm like, actually, you're fired.
People are like, whoa.
Yeah.
You were so nice up until now. Where did this
I thought
come
it was
from?
kind of working.
Yeah. That is me in a nutshell. Gemini Carly.
Gemini Carly. But we love her and need her because I'm too nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Sometimes.
Let's talk about this. When you say Gemini, what translates to me is that doesn't fucking mean anything.
I can understand why you think that.
It does.
I can understand why you think that, but it means a lot, actually. The stars have told me that I am a crazy bitch, and I am fully owning it.
So do you think this is one of those like chicken came before the eggs? Do you think maybe because your entire life you've been told this is how you're supposed to act?
Actually, no. Because no.
So you're saying because you were born
into
on a certain day, that's how you are?
What's your sign? When's your birthday?
What people say that my sign is Cancer.
So it is.
Oh,
We love a Cancer.
That doesn't mean anything to
you're
me.
an emotional little peanut.
We all have emotions.
But you feel them.
Wow, you sound like a Cancer.
Yeah, you do.
I knew saying that was going to piss him off.
I'm going to do a vote to where it's like, hey, do you believe in this stuff?
Yeah.
And then like everyone who votes yes, I'm just going to block. And then everyone who doesn't, there's so many people like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm prepared to be blocked, I guess.
Sorry, I showed up late. I'm such a Gemini.
Yeah.
It's like, no, fucking
Actually,
show up on
Geminis
time.
are very tactful, so I would not show up late. However, but I am. So, Maddie, you've seen my whole life, me go 0 to 100 or flip a personality switch. And I had no idea that's what a Gemini meant up until recently, until like the past couple of years. And I was like, oh my God, that actually makes a lot of sense.
So every Gemini in the world, everyone born in this, never ever seen Hurley snap. And
in my life.
In this, so every single person has that same trait?
No, there's multiple traits.
He's on the cusp of a Taurus, and he's more Taurus.
He's more Taurus vibes.
Oh. So what if like your due date was like on 1, but then you stayed in and were born a little bit later than your due date? That changes your personality?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was early, so my personality is different.
Okay. What if it's like a C-section?
That doesn't do anything.
No.
You're just born on that
So if
day.
it's like,
your time of birth,
if it's like
changes
11, so if
everything?
it's like 11:59, they're like C-section, you're going to be a different personality than if it were to be 12:01 in a regular birth.
yeah, because your moon rising would be different.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Get a co-star app. Get the co-star app.
No, absolutely
Can
not.
I see your phone?
Do you know what time you were born?
No.
Why don't
text
you
your
know
mom?
that?
Would your mom know?
If I message my mom right
Please
now,
message
if I
her
say,
right
what
now.
time am I born?
Please.
she'd FaceTime me and say, leave her alone.
Yeah, I know she would do that because most
You
boy
have
moms
to
do
text
that.
her.
Message my mom. Why don't we FaceTime? Let's see what she's. I
Yeah.
haven't ever
Oh
my
done
God.
One of these. My mother is the sweetest woman on
Phone
earth.
I
friend.
can only imagine. She's the sweetest person on earth.
I typed in Teresa and I forgot that she's saved under Mama Murphy. So.
Our mom made us save her under calling just in case someone found her phone. It wouldn't call our mom or something.
Wouldn't you want them to call?
No,
like, someone
remember
found it?
she saw something that
Yeah, where like someone got held hostage and they called the parents and were like, wire us $30,000.
yeah.
And so she
So
was
they
like,
have
"Take me
Colleen
out as
ice
yeah.
in case of emergency.
Oh gosh.
That didn't make any sense to me at all.
My
Oh, Mama Murphy, come on.
She's
What's she up to?
Probably golfing
She likes to
or
golf.
like tending her garden. She loves to tend her garden.
Where does she live?
Where is she?
Born and raised in Washington State. So her and
Nice.
my dad live in Gig Harbor, Washington.
Cute.
Wow.
I think you should still text her, ask her what time you were born. Just so we could get like a
in case,
response, just in case she sees her phone.
She would call me right back.
Would she?
In that case. Oh, yeah. She loves me. At least I think.
We hope.
Oh, yeah. More than that. I mean, she has been by my side at moments to where no one should have been by my side.
Well,
even though there's been times where I've like in high school where I have lied to her. She knows I'm lying to her and she believes me so that at least I have some sort of support system. Yeah. She's amazing.
An angel.
What an amazing mother.
What's her sign?
I don't know. When's her birthday?
Well, no. Why don't you tell me from that personality trait what sign she is?
I would get Pisces vibes.
Or Cancer.
What are the date of Pisces?
March.
January 26th.
Capricorn. Or is that
I don't know.
Aquarius?
If it's an Aquarius, then that would make sense.
This is all sounding pretty suspect.
It's got to have something to do with the rising moon, I'd say.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, good call, Hurley. You're so right.
Yeah.
Do we know what time your mom was born? Yeah,
she's a
probably
cusper.
cusper born. She's actually one of 14. She has 13 brothers and sisters.
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you have a lot of cousins.
I have first cousins I've never met. People's names I don't even know. Old family reunions when we were in Spokane were insane.
You had to rent a hall probably.
Oh, it would just be at one of their houses, and they're all insane.
Really?
If there was a certain family could be a what do you call them? A zodiac sign?
Yeah.
It would just be like
a bunch of Geminis.
If that's what I mean, like the loudest fun. They're electric. They're so much fun.
Oh, that's so
but
fun.
Imagine having 14 brothers and sisters. I have one child, and when we're like full time, I'm just like, okay,
there's a lot happening, right?
How do I make sure? I need to make more money so that I can, get her this rubber duck boat for the bath. Like,
right.
I don't know. Back then it was just like, remember my mom would tell me stories to where like they would know they were getting a new brother or sister because like dad would come home and just like knock down a wall and build another room, and then it'd be like, huh?
Here comes another. Oh my God.
Are they Irish? Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Murphy.
Irish Catholic.
Irish Catholic.
Mm-hmm.
I was
no, she was my dad Murphy, her
Yes.
Peterson, but yeah.
Okay.
So.
My dad was French Catholic, and he was one of 6, and a lot of people in his family were.
Oh my gosh, one of 6, one of 8, one of 10.
Madness.
Let's
reel it back into fitness.
Yeah.
I always try to give something to where there's takeaways or something objective that people can do, and I want to go one of 2 ways of this. First, speak to someone who's afraid to get involved in fitness, whether it is from a self-image piece or they don't want to fail. Speak to someone who it's like, to help them realize that it's okay to start moving, whether it is built by Biron or whether it is whatever way you think they can get started. Like give them something to where, and maybe someone can send this to someone else. Be like, hey, here's the info that's going to help you out.
Yeah, I think this is honestly kind of what we talked about today on our podcast, but also sort of why we created our business, because there are so many avenues to go in fitness. There's so many places to go. It can be a really overwhelming place. And I remember even before I worked in the fitness industry or even knew I wanted to work in the fitness industry, I still wouldn't even go to a commercial gym in fear of looking dumb and being like, well, I don't know exactly what exercise I'm doing and I don't exactly know how to do it. So I'm not even going to go to the free weight section. I'm just going to hang by the cardio machines. And that is a super universal experience for a lot of people. And I think if you are nervous or if you are self-conscious, if you have had bad experiences prior in the fitness industry or the gym, I would challenge you to go out and try to DM a couple people that inspire you, that you follow, or try to look for people that remind you of yourself in the fitness industry that you'll feel comfortable with them.
That you can relate to.
Yeah, find the person that you relate to and pick their brain and ask them questions and see if you could hop in one of their classes or hop into a session with them or hop on a call with them. And I know putting yourself out there is a really, really scary thing, but find a friend to go with you. Tell your parents about it. Tell your family and your friends about it and create a community that makes you feel comfortable. And I can always tell you the people that are the most nervous to start get the most out of it. And the people that claim they don't want to do it or are unsure about it, we often offer a free session to someone that's really on the cusp. Just come in, try it, and see if you like it. And then if you do, great, we'll move along. And if you don't, totally fine. You will feel this sense of accomplishment and excitement around something that you probably never felt before. And
I just want people to know that there's a space for everyone in the fitness community, no matter where you're starting, no matter how you look, what you wear, whatever it might be, there is a spot for you. It's just about finding that right spot.
Yep. And finding those people that will foster that environment for you. And people don't care as much as you think people do. And I think that's really important to remember.
Talk more on that. What do you mean that people don't care?
So I think a huge fear, and I can say, I don't know if Carly, if you've ever felt this, like a huge fear, and I'm not talking universal because there are probably women that haven't felt that, and there are probably men that have felt that, but we have found a lot in a fitness environment, a lot of women get very intimidated and worried that, like I said, they would look silly or stupid,
like
or
men are judging them.
Yeah,
like people are looking over and being like, what a fucking idiot.
Yeah, or oh my gosh, those leggings are like a weird color, or
like
your hair looks
end up
silly.
On that, like Jim Hardo's Instagram or something.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
or like
creatures.
Oh
of the
my
gym.
gosh, I'm getting crotch sweat, and my butt crack looks sweaty, and like my boob sweats all over the place, and no one
cares.
And I can say that so confidently because I have looked wild in fitness classes and said to someone next door, I'm like, oh my gosh, did you see me? I was looking, all disheveled because that was such a hard class. They're like, I didn't even notice. And you're like,
who are you?
Yeah. And then you think about it. Think of how many times you've gone to a fitness class and all you were paying attention to was yourself.
You're not looking at other people being like, well, how are they?
What are they doing?
You're like,
Exactly.
This is miserable.
Right.
This is difficult.
I'm just trying to get through it.
And I mean, I can honestly say as an instructor, I literally never notice how anyone walks into my class, or how they walk out of my class. I only care about how hard they're pushing themselves when they're in class.
Right.
And I only care if they fart during class. That's the only time when I'm like, you know what, keep that in.
No. I've had people.
Whoa, okay. I don't think it's voluntary all the time.
I think most of it's involuntary.
You can suck it back in.
Okay, let me tell you a quick little anecdotal story here.
You can suck it back in, Connor.
Someone's name that I'm not going to say because I don't want to embarrass them. Doing a class, we were doing ab mat sit-ups, but the workout was really quick, so I needed people to understand that at the top of it, I wanted them to touch the top of the dumbbells and actually use that to press back into it. And we were on the Dahmer mat, so it was really, really fast. Like, all right, on the go call, what you're going to do is you're going to, as opposed to going back and sitting up quick, you're going to start from the back position. You're going to come up and then press back to your shoulders. I was like, and go. And this girl goes, back. And I go, oh. And she just looked at me and everyone else kind of looked. And I was like, I shouldn't have said, oh, because that just drew attention.
Did you say you farted?
Nope.
Oh.
That was like the next one. And I just go, oh. And it was just this like blank look. And then it was just like, we're going to do 2 more of those and 3, 2. And but like, I could see if I would have gone any further, which naturally I would have called it out.
Yeah.
She was so embarrassed. We haven't spoken about it. It was never addressed.
Okay,
and
everyone.
It was loud.
Everybody
and I'm
farts.
Sure she didn't mean to, Carly.
I'm sure she didn't.
Carly,
either.
you've had exertion farts in your life, and I've heard them, and my boyfriend has heard them, and your boyfriend has heard them. So it's normal. It's natural. Everyone farts.
It was just once during spike ball.
I was playing spike ball and had an exertion fart. So
An EF?
yeah.
Yes. And
She has slammed the ball so hard, just like that girl was sitting up so hard. We've all been there.
Okay, but I'm saying when someone lets a sneaky, slithery, silent but deadly out during my spin class, and all of a sudden I'm eating it, choking on it while I'm trying to teach.
Have you ever crop dusted your clients?
No.
You've never had like a fart that you just kind of had to like fart in an area and then walk around?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
Now I know not to come to your class.
I've discussed on here. I've pooped my pants while working out before.
Oh, we've told that story on our
I think we've
podcast.
talked about almost shitting our pants training people before.
Nope, not almost. I pooped my pants
He's like, it happened.
multiple times.
Multiple times.
You've pooped a lot in your pants?
One was in St. Thomas. It was like burpee box jumps. And it was just like I was like, it wasn't like a lot, but enough.
Yeah.
And then the other one was during it was a competition workout with our team, and we were doing GHD sit-ups, chest bar pull-ups, and running. And on the GHD, I came up and it was just, I was like, I have to just keep going. So the first one I stopped and took my underwear off, threw them away, gave myself a little pirate bath, and then came back at it. This one I was like, fuck it.
You worked out with poopy pants?
No, I worked out with poop in my pants and some ran down my leg.
No, Connor, gross.
I had to go. I had to keep going.
What did you eat? What was the problem? You just tummy issues?
It was at that time, I think we told this story again. It was at that time when I was using fat as the primary source of fuel, which works really, really well for me. Unfortunately, the amount of MCT oil that I was putting in my bulletproof coffee was probably not exactly measured.
You were like just pouring it up in there.
Yeah. And it went in. It came out the same way it went in. Just liquid.
Yuck. Thanks
Gross.
Thank you for clarifying that it was liquid.
So if you farted, not that big of a deal. Here I am trying to take what Carly's showing you as just a really, really bad thing and saying, hey, I've done worse. It's not so bad.
It's not that bad.
It's not so bad, you little farter.
Be the farter. Don't be the quitter.
Yeah. I like that. That's a slogan. Fart, don't quit.
I think I'd rather quit than fart.
What about shit? Don't quit.
Shit, don't quit.
Okay, Hurley, that was way better.
But it has to be a comma after shit.
Yeah, shit.
Not as just like, hey man, shit, don't quit. It's like
shit. Like literally shit your pants.
Don't quite literally.
Don't quit.
This is like, come join Connor Murphy and shit your pants. Connor has 0 client. He has 1 client.
Oh my God.
But yeah, people don't care. Period. Show up for yourself.
Yes. Next question I was going to have is from an instructor standpoint. I asked this to Jason Fernandez yesterday. It's like, how do you as an instructor lower the barrier to entry? What do you do to reach out to someone to either find new clients or someone who's been paying attention or who's interested? Like, let's say, like, for instance, with Jen.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Jen is a good friend of ours. We work together through BFit Adventures with Celebration Travel, doing some really, really cool stuff coming up with these all-inclusive fitness retreats. We were on one together. We worked out. I directed them towards the Biron girls because they're a trusted source. That's also a very, very important thing in the trainer community and in a community is having trusted sources of trainers.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I know what I'm really good at. And then if it's not me to be able to do that, to be able to have someone that does it better than I do. And that's what we passed off. But the initial contact, there was no commitment. What is the approach there to make sure that that someone feels welcome, no matter where they are, no matter how much they've digressed from their best?
Well, I was going to let you take this one because Maddie is like, when I think of client retention, I think of Maddie and I think of the relationships she creates with people. And I'm not saying I've sitting there like a bitch, just being like, don't fart in my class. But
now I'm not sure.
However, I do have the relationships, but Maddie takes everything the extra mile with every single person. And have I brought on clients separately? Absolutely. But I've noticed that 99.9% of the clients that Maddie has spoken to, she has retained them. Mm-hmm. So I'll let you take it away.
Well, that's so kind.
It's a zodiac. So it's not actually her effort or care or personality.
It's me being a Pisces.
She cares. She cares deeply.
I care a lot about people. I have a lot of empathy. But
so do I. But
no, Carly does too. Carly is incredible with clients.
Expressed in different ways.
No, but I am better. I honestly would say I'm better at the back end stuff. I'm better with like paying off our credit cards, managing our QuickBooks, running our website, like ordering our merch. I love that stuff. I really do. And I love teaching group fitness. Yeah. Maddie's so good one-on-one.
I just enjoy it a lot. But I think for me, how, for example, when you pass Jen along to us, like showing that initial excitement for someone to literally put themselves out there to reach out to you, like that's a very vulnerable place. And making sure that you show them that you care so deeply about them before you even know them is so important, and it really helps make them feel welcome. But we do intro calls with all of our clients so we can meet face-to-face via Zoom and show that we want to know exactly what they're looking for and what their goals are. And like I said before, a lot of the time we just ask them to come in for free and just give it a shot. And you know, a lot of clients don't actually have the intention to train one-on-one because they think that was never something that I had in my mind. I thought maybe I'd just do, you know, group classes.
Or have never budgeted out for.
Right. And we say, you know, I really want you to come in and try this. And if you don't like it, absolutely fine. No hard feelings at all. We just want you to get your foot in the door to see if it's something you enjoy. If it's something you enjoy, then let's explore that as well. First session, you just make it all about them. You want to get to know them as a person. You want to know what their goals are, what their strengths, what their weaknesses are, if they have injuries. Making sure that someone feels taken care of and safe in your space is the number one thing. But also, I think a lot of gyms can be really intimidating for someone that is nervous to get into it. And being a welcoming, smiling face is probably the number one thing I would say to do for your clients, because I know there's plenty of gyms I've walked into that I've immediately been like, okay, I want to walk out.
Immediately now.
Yeah.
I joined Lifetime a couple years back, and with joining, they give you a complimentary personal training session. I'm like, okay, whatever, I'll try it. Why not?
I didn't know that. I don't know the story.
For a very specific reason they do that. Anyways.
Yes,
sorry,
to help their newest trainers get clients. I've never been so turned off immediately. I went into this thing. They tell me to get on a scale. They measure me. They tell me to do the BMI. And I'm like, I didn't want to know how much I weighed today. Like, hello? I didn't want to know my BMI today. Like, what?
Also, why are they using that?
And they spent the first half hour doing all those tests on me and then asking me about like my fitness routine. At this point, I'm pretty fit. Like I would like to say I'm in pretty good shape. They start me with like the most basic like band exercise. I'm like, you realize I just was like doing renegade rows with 30 pounds and like doing that. You know what I mean? Like I did not feel heard. I did not feel listened to. I didn't even want to know what my weight was. And they told me, you know what I mean? So
the old one size fits all model.
Yeah.
This is our on-ramp program for everyone, because
That's actually so funny you say that, because on our website, it says fitness is not a one size fits all.
fist me. And let's talk about because I like to be, what's the word I'm looking for? I like to be polarizing with some topics. The traditional gym industry, let's talk about that. Here is the role of the traditional gym industry. We need to get as many people as possible to sign up, and we want as little people as possible to attend the gym.
Yes.
There is a gym, 24-hour fitness in Pacific Beach. I want to say I talked to one of the staff, and they said they had like 6,500 people that were members of this gym. And what they do is they set the price to pay enough to where you're not gonna,
remember to cancel.
Yeah, remember to cancel, but not so much that you remember to cancel, but low enough to not make you go.
Yeah.
And it's like you get what you pay for. And it's so frustrating because the traditional gym industry doesn't care about fitness.
No.
And we talked about this too, like the BMI. Like if someone wants to measure my weight relative to my like waist, and like I'm obese for a 6'1" person, and it's like, hey, let's take this example. Let's take just one example and throw out the baby with the bathwater. Like let's get rid of it. Like this is stupid and it doesn't make any sense.
So dumb.
And that's why I'm such a proponent of objective fitness.
Yep.
I've been like, what are you capable of day one? Let's see what you can do here. Here's we're going to do a baseline test. Not the same for everyone.
That's what we do.
Yep. Here's what we're going to do. And guess what? When you do it 6 months from now and you get better, here's objective data that you are fitter. Here's where you were. Here's where you are now. How do you look? Don't care.
Yeah.
What clothes you're wearing also doesn't matter. But guess what? When you continue to chase objective results, you are going to get everything else that you want. You are going to increase your bone density. You're going to increase your muscle mass, decrease body fat, increase your ejection fraction, which is how much blood your heart can pump in a like all of that stuff will get better if we just focus on not how you fucking look and just to make you better, make you what you said, more capable, to make life easier. Outside of it, we train and do difficult things. We do hard shit to make life easier,
right?
Or more, at least more accessible.
And it's not like every single one of our clientele's abilities are different. Every single one, and we aren't gonna throw our 65-year-old client with a bad knee and a bad Achilles into Olympic lifts because they're never, ever going to need to do that. They're never going to have to deadlift 300 pounds because that's just not what is written for their journey. They do not want to do that. They do not want to try to do that because they have a bad back. And we're not going to be those trainers that are like, well, you can do it because you're strong and you're working out. So that means we have to give you that Olympic lift. Like, no, we're going to do what makes them feel most comfortable. And yes, we're going to push them to discomfort because without discomfort, there is no growth. But at the same time, we're not going to put them in a position where they could possibly injure themselves.
Well, no program is 100% safe.
Right.
Right. But like mitigating risk to also understand, I like what you were talking about there, to where it's like, do I have enough knowledge to have a conversation with someone to why they should overhead squat in today's class? Sure. I can talk to them blue in the face with anyone about it. If the person doesn't want to do it and they came in because they just wanted to get a good workout and putting a bar overhead is hard for them, as opposed to grinding with a PVC pipe and doing all that stuff, maybe they just want to come in and they want to sit down to a box and stand up for their squats. And it's like, also understanding that just because you're fucking smart and you understand, you know, anatomy and physiology of movement, it's like, also it's like, what does the person want?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, talk to them, have the conversation, and you know, you want to tailor what they need with what you want, but there's tact to do that, to where, just like what you're saying, it's like, just because you're like, hey, this is our program, someone's like, well, I don't want to step on that scale, and you're like, well,
yeah,
you have to.
I was like, why?
You're like,
It's like, I wasn't looking to get weighed today. Am I at the freaking doctor's?
oh, it's the worst. It is. Did your mom call you back?
No.
Bummer.
Man,
Really need
all
to know what time you were born.
I know. We'll follow up with that. Don't worry.
We'll
We
follow
will
up
follow
on
up.
our podcast.
Yeah.
We'll just run it back and
Yes,
forth.
we'll run it back to our podcast next week.
We're coming up on our 1 hour mark. The questions that I had were the questions for trainers, and then questions for, or the question about how to get people coming in the gym. I love your perspective. I love the journey. I also love being friends with you guys. I think it's incredibly inspiring. There is no one size fits all.
Nope.
And if you are getting people the results that they want, then that is the most successful and the most incredible thing. And I think that it's awesome to see, and I've really enjoyed learning from you in a much different approach on how I address things, to where I have become a better trainer being able to learn from you. It's like, it doesn't matter how long I've been in the fitness industry. If you're doing stuff that's working, I want to take that. I want to steal it. I'll give you credit the first couple of times to be like, hey,
okay.
Maddie and Carly with this. And then after 2 times of giving you credit, it's mine.
It's yours.
That's also what I do with the stuff you teach me. So
Yep.
that's perfect.
It's
Wonderful.
perfect. Thank you.
We're
We
going to
love
look
you.
forward to that push-up clinic.
Yes.
Coming out. I'm going to actually like put together, I have like an actual like program template. We'll do it at Reebok one weekend.
Let's do
It'll
it.
be free for anyone who wants to learn how to do a push-up.
Love that.
And then
I have a lot of good
assistance.
assisted exercises for push-ups because I basically had to start after my rib injury from ground zero. So I will
My
also
push-ups still
help
aren't
you.
that great.
Literally ground zero from
literally
the ground, because that's what a
ground.
push-up is.
Cannot push myself up. Yes.
Well, thank you for having us. You're
Thank
the
you for
best.
having us. We
Amazing.
love you.
Thank you for joining. Give them Instagram handles, yourselves, your podcast. Talk about it.
Oh, there's
Okay.
a bajillion.
So-
At Built by Byron. Byron with an
B-I-R-O-N.
I.
Maybe just one of you give them.
Right here.
Carly, you.
Okay.
You, we started.
Okay, so Built by Byron, Biron, Built. That's how you spell built. We have Eat the Damn Cake podcast for our Instagram handle for our podcast.
D-A-M-N.
Yep.
A lot of people do D-A-M and can't find us.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Shocking.
That person being sometimes Nick. Anyway.
I was going to say they shouldn't be able to find it if that's
And then
if
Maddie.
that's the dam that's stopping them from figuring out what your podcast is. They
Don't
don't deserve to listen.
No.
See what I did there?
Maddie is Madeline Byron. Madeline with an I, not a Y. And then I am Carly Byron, CarlyBiron.
Follow us.
I'm also going to put all these in the comments. So if you just want to read
There's a
that
There's a
at
lot.
this point in time, yeah, we're going to put it on there. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having us,
Thanks.
ConCon.
And thank you for everything that you do for other people.
We love you.
We love you.
See you next week.